The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Hello and welcome into Week 12 of the Ashley Ingram Show as Carson-Newman falls in the opening round of the playoffs in gut-wrenching fashion to the Miles Golden Bears by a final score of 14-13. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Ashley Ingram. Ashley, the run unfortunately comes to an end in the first round of the playoffs, and it felt like a game that ultimately comes down to missed opportunities. Held Miles scoreless for the second half. I actually don't think they brought it across midfield after halftime, but a first half turnover set up a short field. They scored on that and then never could take advantage of the opportunities in the second half. What did you see from your team on that day?
Right. I think we played hard. Obviously, we played very good on defense. You started the game off with a big kickoff return for them, which we stopped them there, and then I think we turned it over the next possession or second possession. They score. We had some opportunities to score. We missed a long field goal, but the field goal was, lost a lot of yardage on a penalty. And then at the end of the game, we had some opportunities to get ourselves in field goal position to win the game, and we just couldn't get it done. So just not our day, and then give Miles a lot of credit as well.
It really is an interesting dichotomy. I think if I were to tell you before the season that you were going to be a 9-3 team and make the playoffs and only lose by one in the playoffs, you probably would have taken that as a first-year head coach. But gosh, the number of things that added up that were there for the taking, I don't know that you would have taken that if you knew how this was going to close. How do you break down the weight of being there, being on the cusp, and knowing that, hey, you had the football in Miles' territory 3 times in the fourth quarter and never could get it inside of the 30 to try for 3 to win it?
Right. Well, I'm obviously very happy with our team, very happy with the job the coaches did. The guys bought in. But ultimately, we weren't quite good enough to get the job done. And we just got to keep coaching. We got to keep recruiting. We got to keep working with our guys here, and we've just got to get better, this off season. So when we play next year, we've got an opportunity to win some of those games.
Carson-Newman falls in the opening round of the NCAA playoffs to the Miles Golden Bears by a final score of 14-13. We'll break down the first half after these messages. This is the Ashley Ingram Show.
Believe in Nashville. Believe in Memphis, Chattanooga, and Knoxville. Believe in communities where people take care of each other. Believe in staying true to your word and treating others the way you'd want to be treated. We do, because we believe in you. We're Farm Bureau Insurance, and we don't just believe in Tennessee, we believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance, Tennessee's insurance company.
When it comes to the things you love the most in life, you want an insurance company who knows you and cares about you. At Carriage Hill Insurance, that's not just what they do, that's who they are. Whether it's home, auto, life, or business, you'll get the best coverage for the best cost. From Tennesseans who know Tennesseans. Carriage Hill Insurance. Insurance with a human touch.
Hey guys, it's Mark from the all-new Rusty Wallace Hyundai, and we're proud to be supporters of the Carson-Newman Eagles. At Rusty Wallace Hyundai, we're home of the 200,000-mile warranty and 3 years free maintenance. And we want to wish Coach Ingram and all the coaches, players, and fans a great football season. So come and check us out at RustyWallaceHyundai.com. So from my family and all the Rusty Wallace Hyundai family, Talons up!
All right, back on the Ashley Ingram Show as Carson-Newman falls in the opening round of the playoffs to the Miles Golden Bears, the 4th seed and the 22nd ranked team in the country, Final score 14-13. I'm Adam Cavalier alongside the Eagles head man, Ashley Ingram. Ashley, a first half, good physical football against the Miles Golden Bears. You move the ball in spots, but Miles, the top defense in the SIAC, Carson-Newman, top 3 defense in the South Atlantic Conference. It felt like a good defensive slobber knocker from the moment that kickoff happened. How much of a challenge was it to move the ball on the Golden Bears for a day where you still moved it for more than 300 yards?
Yeah, it was tough. Great team speed by those guys. We were not able to get a lot going, on the perimeter. I think most of our, obviously, rushing yards came from Jaden, kind of running right at them. So they're a good defense. I think they'd won 10 games in a row now. Yep. They lost a game early in the year, 14-15 to West Alabama, who's a playoff team. They missed 2 extra points and missed 2 field goals that day. So a very good football team, and their other loss was to an FCS team. I think it kind of went like we thought it would go. We thought it would be a defensive struggle. We thought we could do a little more offensively, but again, like I said, give those guys credit.
A team in Miles that was number 1, still is number 1 in the country in turnovers forced and turnover differential. And at the end of the day, that is the difference in the game. They had the 1 short field as a result of your fumble, and then a game-sealing interception sealed the contest. I guess it felt a little bit like the Emory and Henry game. Ball security ultimately what undoes you.
Right. We did a great job the first 7 games taking care of the football. We didn't do as good a job at the end. And I thought that the key to beating Miles on the road was to take care of the football, not allow them to, I think they're +2 on the season in turnover margin. And we just ultimately in the end, we turned the ball over. And they're too good of a football team, and they're too good on defense to give away possessions.
First half, you alluded to it earlier, kickoff return. Miles started 1st and 10 at their own 40 after a 60-yard kickoff return to start the game. Defense stiffened, and that was the tale of the tape all day long. Your defense did not allow a great degree of yardage. The 2 fields that Miles scored on were 24 yards and 54 yards long. How proud are you with the effort that side of the football gave?
I thought they did great, and a lot of credit goes to Coach Slade and the defensive staff of kind of moving pieces around. But if you look at our defense, really those last 5 or 6 or the second half of the season, man, we played really good defense. It just got better and better as the season progressed.
Now you head into the offseason on a 4-game streak of fewer than 260 yards gained per game, and 3 of those 4 were on the minus side of 200 yards. You got some pieces back. How pleased were you with the maturation and to get some more tape, some more reps for guys like a Jesse Combs, who definitely looked like he belonged on the field on Saturday?
Right. No, it was great. He was injured most of the season. Jesse ended up playing really good for us. He can be a great player here at Carson-Newman. It was great. We played a lot of our freshmen this year, and we're still able to hold on to the red shirt for quite a few of them. So we've got a lot of pieces back. I think we lose 1 person on offense in the starting lineup. I think maybe it's 4 on defense. So a lot of starters coming back, guys that have played in some really tough, meaningful football games. So those guys have to continue to work. Those guys have to get better. And then we've got to do a great job recruiting and surrounding them with some other guys as well.
Carson-Newman falls to Miles in the first round of the playoffs. Eagles were down at the halftime break, 14-10. And here are those first half highlights.
Carson-Newman 40. Ivory takes the shot. Gun snap, rolls the pocket left. He's pressured. He's hit in the backfield and sacked. Martavis Mason and Jesse Combs find him back at the midfield stripe. And Carson-Newman overwhelms him for a 10-yard sack, 2nd and 20.
He had trips to the
score between Carson-Newman and Miles in the opening round of the playoffs. 2nd and 10. Ivory will give to Scott right side. Scott on a stretch play is spun around, stays on his feet, and is finally bottled up inside the left hashes down at the 30-yard line by Dedrick McLean, who twisted him around like a top. 5-yard gain, 3rd down and 5 to go for the Golden Bears. Ivory in the gun, Scott to his right, trips receivers to the wide side right. Snap back to Ivory, stands up in the pocket, going to flip it. Left side of the end zone, Abner, incomplete. Off of his fingertips, Jet Jones provided the coverage, and it's 3rd and goal from the 12.
Just a great
From the 12-yard line. Ball spotted on the left hashes with trips receivers to the wide side right. Ivory in the gun, Scott to his left. Snap back at the waist. Ivory stands in, flips it to the right side. It is complete to Jaquel Fells. At the 2, he twists his body and turns into the end zone. Touchdown, Golden Bears. Miles strikes first on a 12-yard out route to Jaquel Fells, his 2nd receiving TD of the season, and a 6-0 lead for the Golden Bears with 4:20 hashes at their own 40. Johnson will fake the toss, roll left, throw left. That is complete to Jeremiah Carroll at the Miles 45, and he's shoved out of bounds in Golden Bear territory down at the 38-yard line by Josh Ruff. So Jeremiah running. 2nd and goal from the 2. Johnson takes, turns and hands off Sullins left side. Sullins burrowing straight ahead. He's in. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Jaden Sullins into the end zone for the 11th time this season. Dive left of center, works like a charm, and the Eagles a PAT away from tying this one up.
Yeah, the Eagles are right there, the offensive line. That series, the offensive line did a...
10 for the Golden Bears from their own 31. Ivory back to pass, sprinting right, throwing right, batted in the air, incomplete. Major Williams disrupted that pass intended for Trey Abner at the 42-yard line over the right side numbers. Would have been 1st down yardage, but Williams with the rejection to bring up 2nd and 10.
Via RJZ to catch the exciting action of Carson-Newman Eagle football.
On 3rd and 8, Justin Johnson drops back to pass, keeps it, gets hit, and fumbles, and Keith Green plucks it out of the air and recovers the fumble. Justin Johnson had picked up 1st down yardage across the 30, got walloped, ball spurted in the air, and Keith Green grabbed it on the fly, totes it along the left sideline, and brings it back down to the 25-yard line. 34th turnover, a nation's leading 34th turnover, forced by Miles this season. An Eagle is shaken up on the play along the left sideline. In the country against Catawba. 1st and goal from the 5 for Ivory. Takes the snap. We'll give to Scott. Stretch play left side. Scott has the edge. He dives for the pylon. He touches it. He's in. Touchdown, Golden Bears. Gennaro Scott's 6th rushing touchdown of the season is a 5-yard scamper. Miles takes advantage of the fumble recovery and caps it with a 2-play.
Times and see what they get before they take some shots downfield.
Scott to the right of Ivory. It's a high snap. Ivory has to go up and get it. He just sprints forward and is able to get back to the line of scrimmage before he runs smack dab into Dedrick McClain and Champ Baker, who were quick to close. 50 seconds left. Whitson back to pass. Going to throw long over the middle of the field. Complete to Zach Williams, who hauls it in over the right hashes at the 38. Turns his body and gets down to the 35. Try from the right hashes. Bennett Smith was good from 41 and 45 last week.
They're going to show a wishbone. They're going to take the
Bradshaw's snap is back. Campbell pulls down the high hold. Smith puts it up. It has the distance, and it clears through dead center. So Bennett Smith makes a 3rd consecutive 40-plus yard field goal to make it a 4-point game headed into the half. Bennett Smith good from 43. Miles takes a 14-10 lead into the halftime locker room, and David Needs, Eagles will get the football to start the second half, have a chance to take.
Those are the first half highlights of the Eagles' opening round playoff game against the Miles Golden Bears, as Carson-Newman trailed by 4 at the halftime break. Adam Cavalier alongside Ashley Ingram. Ashley, what was your message to the team in the halftime locker room?
Well, the big thing was just keep playing. You know, keep playing defense, take care of the football. Let's put a drive together. It wasn't going to take a lot of points to win the game. And I thought we came out and we responded. We played hard. We were moving the ball. We had some penalties, probably kept us out of the end zone. We just couldn't get it done. But I thought our guys laid it on the line.
Classic game where you had a lot of little things go wrong. You bring up the penalties. First pre-snap penalty offensively in ages. You killed one drive. You had the illegal block below the waist that killed another. Then obviously the turnovers. I guess a classic teaching point of the little things can get you beat. Right. And there were too many of those that added up. Yeah,
the turnover by Justin, we just got a first down. Yeah. Not an illegal block below the waist, it was an illegal blindside block.
Right. That's right.
By Zach, if you go back and watch it, Zach stopped. Zach didn't launch. Zach used his hands. It was a violent block. And sometimes you think maybe they see the reaction of the defensive player rather than seeing the entire play. I don't know what else you could teach Zach in that situation other than stand there and almost like play basketball defense. But that cost us. We hit the upright on that drive on the field goal. So obviously we got to keep doing a good job there, coaching that and teaching that in this kind of modern age of football. And then we had two opportunities at the end to get in field goal range, and we just didn't capitalize.
Carson-Newman falls to Miles in the opening round of the playoffs, 14-13. We break down the second half after these messages on the Ashley Ingram Show.
Believe in Nashville. Believe in Memphis, Chattanooga, and Knoxville. Believe in communities where people take care of each other. Believe in staying true to your word and treating others the way you'd want to be treated. We do, because we believe in you. We're Farm Bureau Insurance, and we don't just believe in Tennessee, we believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance, Tennessee's insurance company.
On game night, winning is everything. But life's big wins happen off the court. When you win a heart. When you win their trust. When you win their respect. First Bank's community banking is perfect for life's big wins because of what we're big on. You. Make us part of your team for life's biggest wins.
Right back on the Ashley Ingram Show. Carson-Newman sees its season come to an end in the opening round of the NCAA playoffs. 17th trip all time. Carson-Newman falls by 1 point to Miles in the opening round, 14-13. Actually, the third 1-point game that Carson-Newman has played this season, most ever for a single season in the history of the Carson-Newman football program. Ashley Ingram, it was kind of the recipe all season long for your team. Tight, competitive games. You won some, you lost some. How do you build on this moving forward, considering the 3 games you lost this year were decided by combined, 23 points? Right. That you're close. How do you push through that hump with what you have coming back and going into recruiting season?
Well, I think we just got to get better at everything we do. We've got to get bigger. We've got to get stronger. We've got to be a more physical team. We've got to learn our system. We've got to do some things as coaches too. We've got to throw the ball better. We've got to take care of the ball better. Defensively, even though we had a great season, we've got to take the next step. We've got to get out and we've got to recruit. We've got to fill some of these spots that are missing. This is a great place. We've got to get people on campus. I think recruits can see this place. They'll understand what we're building. But I think what we got to do is we got to double down on everything we've done. We are trying to build a culture. It's not built, and I don't think it ever will be. You just got to keep striving to get better and better and better, and we'll continue to do that.
It's interesting to hear you say that about a culture, because one, I think to a degree there's the maintenance like you would do on your house, but also I would argue that culturally you establish some things pretty quickly here. I know you're not one to be satisfied, but I'm going to do that thing that I've done multiple times, ask you to reflect on this year. How do you feel it went?
Well, I think it went great. We're 9-3. I think we lost to 3 teams that have a combined maybe 4 or 5 losses. Yep. So we've lost to some good teams. They were all on the road. Our guys did a great job embracing what we're trying to do. I don't know that they fully understand what we're looking for. So it is my job to continue to kind of, pound on the desk so they understand what we're looking for, what we want, As hard as we've worked to get to this point, I think to have a successful season next year, I think we're going to have to work just as hard to do it again. But at the same time, we've got to take it to another level. People in the league have seen us now. We've played in some tough games. I think we've got to get better. I think we've got to get better in every aspect of our program if we're going to have sustained success and go to where we want to go.
I'd argue, too, offensively, it's fairly vanilla at the end of the day, what this offense did. Now, effective,
right?
Effective, but the curtain, at least from your days at the Naval Academy, I would say is still covering up a large portion of what the offense is capable of. Is that a fair assessment?
I think so. We were vanilla. Everybody's got a lot of, I get a lot of recommendations and suggestions about our offense. And some come from players, and some come from parents, and some come from my dad, and some come from a lot of people. But here's what I knew. Is if we dabbled in a lot of things and we didn't commit to something, we'd had no chance. And what we committed into is getting under center, and really we committed to running the fullback. We did not run a lot of option this year. We just weren't great at it. We threw the ball well early in the season. We didn't throw the ball well at the end of the season. We played hard, but we didn't play hard enough. We took care of the ball at times, but we didn't take care of the ball well enough. Everything, about our offense has got to improve, okay? From the coaching to some of the schemes, to the way we practice, the way we play, everything's got to improve.
Interesting to hear that, too, for an offense that is top 2 in the conference in scoring. But to be fair, too, play the devil's advocate against myself, low-scoring league this year. I think 33 points is the lowest scoring average to lead the league in the last 15 years. Carson-Newman falls on the road in the opening round of the playoffs to the Miles Golden Bears, 14-13. Here are those second half highlights.
Newman 1 for 6 on third downs. Whitson takes, turns and gives on the dive to Sullins, spins through an arm tackle across midfield, fights along the right hashes inside the 45, and he's knocked down in Miles territory down at the 43-yard line by Cason Pritchett. Good hard running for Jaden Sullins as he gobbles up 14 yards from 143 to the other.
Just and that
side left. Curtis, the fullback. Whitson takes, play fake to him, drops back to pass. He's pressured, escapes. Whitson has room to run to the right. He's going to run. He's across the 40, across the 35, a stiff arm to the right sideline. And Hudson Davis grabs him around the ankles and trips him up down to the 30-yard line. Zane Whitson makes 14 yards happen with his legs and brings up 3rd and 9 for the Eagles with 9:37 on a rolling clock, third quarter, trailing 14-10. Actually, spot him yard line. Fake the rocket toss to Ferguson. Whitson back to pass, throws middle of the field. A great diving grab seized by Don Bradley in the boundary right side. He got it to his fingertips and sent himself head over heels to the turf down at the Miles 35-yard 35. Whitson quickly under center, takes and hands on a trap to Sullins straight ahead. Sullins bursting across the 30, across the 25. He's got first down yardage down to the 24 outside the right hashes. 11-yard gain before McCoy buckles him down, 1st and 10.
Eagles are doing it.
Meeks out to the wide side left, Carroll to the short side right. Sullins the fullback. He'll take the handoff from Whitson left side. Sullins steps free across the 10, across the 5, and he's hit at the 5 as he falls forward by Malachi Ogden. Jaden Sullins carves up the Golden Bears for 15 yards, and the Eagles have it 1st and goal at the 5. Stop playing. Miles players imploring them to stop playing, because it could be a penalty here in the playoffs. Ball on the left hashes. Snap back, hold down. Smith's kick is on the way. Bennett Smith's kick is true. So Bennett Smith dials it in from 29 yards out. The field goal makes it a 1-point game. Miles 14 and Carson-Newman 13. 14:55 to go in the fourth quarter. Eagles get 4 for the Golden Bears. Right hashes at their own 26. They need the 30. Ivory Claps takes the snap. He's back to pass. Ivory has time. He's hit. Ivory is sacked. The ball flies out. No, they blow it dead. Ivory sacked. Back at the 18-yard line. Jet Jones came on a delayed blitz and thumped him for a loss of 8. Back to the 18. 3:20, 38-yard line. In motion goes Bradley as Whitson takes. Whitson rolls left, throws left. That's complete to Cade Meeks in Miles territory at the 48-yard line. Meeks lurches backward and moves the 6. Hardy brings him down, but it's 15 yards on Cade Meeks. First catch of the day. And the Eagles move the chains to the Miles 47-yard line.
How many times?
In the fourth quarter. Shotgun formation for Ivory. Scott to his left. Single receiver each way. Ivory claps and takes. Scott fumbled it. The ball is loose. Cruz Temple got it. Carson-Newman football with 59 seconds left. Holy Toledo! Wow. Are you kidding me? The field at the Miles 41. Whitson takes, straight drop. Whitson pressured, throwing off his back foot. It's a jump ball. It's intercepted. A pick for the Golden Bears. Malachi Ogden grabs the 22nd interception of the season for the Golden Bears as Zane Whitson chucked it off of his back foot to Jeremiah Carroll. Ogden makes a game-saving play.
Those are the second half highlights from the Eagles' round 1 loss to Miles in the NCAA playoffs. One final Talon Talk for you when we come back after these messages on the Ashley Ingram Show.
At Carson-Newman, we're not just creating nurses, we're shaping leaders.
Where else can you find a university that offers full room and board plus an unlimited meal plan for ROTC scholarship cadets? Only here, where excellence meets generosity. Step into our state-of-the-art Skills Lab, a sanctuary for practical learning exclusive to our nursing students. It's here that excellence becomes second nature.
With our student-focused approach, every class is an opportunity for personalized growth, thanks to our exceptional student-to-professor ratio. Experience a learning environment where collaboration thrives, supported by a strong bond between cadres and students, ensuring your success is never left to chance. And for those aiming to join our esteemed nursing program, high priority are given to Army ROTC Nursing Scholarship recipients, a testament to our commitment to your future. Dive into a nursing program where your military training at CST translates into academic credits, a rare opportunity to fast-track your degree. Join a battalion recognized for its outstanding performance, celebrated by the VA and the East Tennessee Military Affairs Council. This is where leaders are born, when you're not just prepared for the future, but you're prepared to lead it.
All right, back on the Ashley Ingram Show. Carson-Newman closes out its season with a 14-13 loss in the NCAA playoffs to the Miles Golden Bears. We've got one last Talon Talk for you, and walking the field with Andrew Rogers. It's another Andrew Seibert.
Hi again, everyone. This is another episode of Talon Talk. I'm Andrew Rogers, and this is senior punter Andrew Seibert. Andrew, let's start walking down the field here. Let's talk about your journey and how you first became a punter.
Well, I played soccer, as most kickers and punters do. And after my sophomore year, it was time to try out for varsity. And I knew I was not going to make the team, so I went out in the backyard and I put together some PVC pipes to hold the ball up. And I just started kicking field goals into the trees at the end of the yard.
Yeah.
And I went and tried out in the summertime, and I made the team as actually the backup kicker on a high school team, which is, isn't very common. But I rode the bench for a year, and then my senior year I went out and started as the kicker and the punter in my high school.
So you've done it for quite some time now. What would you say is maybe the best quality that a special teams player, kicker, punter has to have?
I would say it's mostly a mental game. It's a lot like golf. I compare it to golf a lot because the ball's here and I want it to be there, and you just have to lock in and make sure that you focus on staying mentally level, regardless of what happens, whether it's a good kick or a bad kick, because there's always going to be another one. And also physically, I would say mobility and flexibility are huge. I had to, I was taught early to stretch every day, which has actually really helped me, especially now as I'm getting older. My body's struggling to keep up. So yeah.
You mentioned the physical qualities. You had those on display against Marshall with the onside kick. So talk me through the strategy behind that. Did it play as you wanted it to? And then obviously the moment afterward to see your team win after that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Well, when we first went down and scored, and I was thinking to myself, the whole time we're driving, I'm like, if we do get this, I'm gonna have to kick an onside kick. And we practiced those a lot. And I did get a lot of practice in high school because we weren't very good my senior year. So I did about a dozen onside kicks in my senior year of high school. So I kind of knew what works, and the best strategy is just to give your team a chance. Put the ball in a position where it's not your fault that it didn't go 10 yards or that it went out of bounds or whatever. So I was just thinking, get the ball 10 yards down the field in the general vicinity of my team, and it just happened to work out. I mean, Jeremiah went up and made an amazing catch there.
Seibert will kick from right to left toward the far sideline. Raises his right hand, pops it in the air. It bounces. Carson-Newman deflects it, and the Eagles have it. It is recovered by Jeremiah Carroll in Mars Hill territory. He batted it in the air, and this time Carroll collects it.
Let's get to know you a little bit more. If you had to pick a position on the football field, if it wasn't to be a kicker or punter, what position would you have wanted to pursue more?
Well, I played one snap at tight end in high school, and I got pancake blocked. So if it wasn't kicker, I'd probably be a long snapper, or maybe a receiver. Something that doesn't require a lot of pounds. Yeah, because I don't have those.
It's 65 degrees out and the sun's shining, so it reminds me of summertime, basically here in November. Where would you pick as your #1 destination spot for a summer vacation?
Ooh, for summer vacation, that's tough. Well, I spent a little time in Europe during summer. In Poland, it was really beautiful in the summertime. Mm-hmm. So if I was going to say like a mountain destination, I'd say like Switzerland or Poland, somewhere where it's, in Europe where, it's cool enough. But in the States, I would say, Florida. Love going to the beach. Love the beach.
Of course. Active member of the military. Talk to me about how that has shaped who you are and what that means to serve your country.
Well, I wanted to be in the Navy since I was like 6 years old, and I wanted to be a pilot. And that dream's still alive, but it's been delayed a little bit. I enlisted in the reserves out of high school, and I never really thought that I would play football in college until I walked on my senior year at my old school. And the whole time I was going through undergrad, I was in the reserves in the military, and I went active duty a few times, and I just recently got back from deployment. So kind of tying that into football was big for me because the teamwork aspect and everybody kind of working together to do something greater than yourself, and so that really helped when I came back and became a part of a football team, which I hadn't really been since high school. So it was to incorporate those things into football was big.
Got your undergraduate degree at Townsend, majored in political science, getting your MED now here at Carson-Newman, about to finish that up. What's in store for your future?
Well, flight school, hopefully, but until then, I'll probably get a job in the government because able to do that now with the military experience, and just work until I can make that dream, being a pilot, come true. Right. Maybe Top Gun or Blue Angels.
All right, Andrew, that was a great talk. Enjoyed it. That is senior punter Andrew Seibert. I'm Andrew Rogers on this episode of Talon Talk.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew Rogers. Ashley Ingram, we close with Andrew Seibert. Super unique story. Not too many times you have an active military guy playing on your team. Literally spent the spring before his final season here, serving this country. What's he meant to you in this program, considering where you've been for the last 16 years at the Naval Academy?
Right. Well, I think the first time I spoke to Andrew, I think he was in Dubai. We spoke by phone. So a lot of credit to that young man to go serve our country and then to come back and play ball for us. He wants to be a Navy pilot, and hopefully that's going to work out for him. For him, maybe the season didn't go the way he would have wanted it to. He was our kickoff guy and he was our backup kicker. But it's hard to be on a ship, or it's hard to be in the desert and then come back and play college athletics at a very high level. I thought he did great. He's got 2 iconic plays that'll last here forever. One is the onside kick at Mars Hill that gave us a chance to win the game. And the other was a tackle on a kickoff return. I told him they need to start making T-shirts with that picture on it. But I think there were times where he questioned his decision to come back. And I think after those 2 plays, I told him both times, said, that's why you came back. And those plays will live forever here, I think, at Carson-Newman.
The kickoff being the one at Tusculum, if I'm remembering correctly.
I think so, yes. He made a tackle the other day.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Launch has
maybe we had him in the wrong position.
No regard. Yeah, linebacker. No regard for human life, Andrew Seibert. All right, let's put a bow on this thing. You got emotional in the post-game press conference on Saturday. Break down the emotions. The meaning for you in your first year as a head coach. What this team meant to Ashley Ingram.
Well, I think it was as simple as obviously, personally, I've poured a lot of effort into it. Kind of uprooted my family to move down here. I know our coaches have poured a lot into it. I know our players have poured their heart and soul into this. I had just left the locker room where those guys were very emotional. We had another emotional goodbye that we'll get to at another date. So I think it was just a culmination of all those things, and I think it was also just kind of gratitude for the way I've been treated, the way my family's been treated, the way this coaching staff has been treated by everyone at Carson-Newman. I'm just blessed to be here. Obviously, it's Thanksgiving week now. Yep. Thankful for this opportunity. Thankful for Dr. Fowler. Thankful for Matt Pope. Thankful for our players. So I think it was just just an emotional time. I was exhausted. So. The other,
justifiably so.
The other thing too is I had a lot of college teammates at the game. Yeah. Ronald McKinnon, coaches for Miles, had an opportunity to spend a lot of time with him before the game. So just an emotional day, and we laid it on the line. Wasn't quite good enough, but we're just blessed and grateful to be at Carson-Newman.
Next steps. Obviously, recruiting has been ongoing, but it really ramps up now as you bear down on the 2 signing days. Right. In December and February. Next steps for this program to grow and build upon an NCAA playoff berth in year 1 for you.
Right. Well, we just had a meeting just prior to this taping, and we went through the entire roster, and we talked about every single player on the team. We talked about our plan for recruiting over these next few weeks. We talked about what we need at each position and how we'll address that. So our players are home for Thanksgiving this week. We'll have a quick meeting with them next week when they get back, just to kind of touch base with them and make sure we're squared away academically. We'll be better if they're all back, and hopefully they understand how much we appreciate them and want them back here. But we just got to continue to get better. We got to continue to bring in good players. Hopefully we can retain our staff and retain the players that we have in our program.
I'm going to take off the voice hat and put on the associate AD hat, which I don't like wearing as much, but on behalf of everybody with Carson-Newman, we are extremely grateful for the way that you and this team have represented the university, not only for the last 3 months, but since you've set foot on campus.
Well, thank you. And I think our best days are ahead of us. Our guys are bought in. They've worked hard. But to me, we've just scratched the surface of what we can do here.
It's a good note to end on. Ashley, pleasure all year. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
It's Carson-Newman head football coach Ashley Ingram. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier. This has been the Ashley Ingram Show. Thanks for joining us.